G'day and welcome to Aussievision. I'm Kyriakos, and with us today we have a trio who formed in 2016 while they were students at the Leeds College of Music in the UK, who together make really cool music, moved to the Czech Republic, released many singles, then entered the Czech national final for Eurovision, ECZ, and won it. We have We Are Domi here with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to start with an odd question. I saw your Twitter before, and you mentioned a strange Eurovision themed dream. Who was that?
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued. What can you share it with us?
Yeah, sure. So I actually haven't had any Eurovision dreams, or how dreams are, they kind of like happen and then you forget them. But this one was a bit like traumatic. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm getting a bit nervous that it's coming closer to the final or to the semifinals. Yeah, it was like we were in apartments, I guess, and it was a bunch of different Eurovision contestants. I can't remember like who exactly everyone was there anymore. And basically it was like in the hallway there was a grizzly bear or something, just like killer.
Okay.
And he was trying to get into all the rooms, and it was weird because there was no locks on the room, so I had to hold it with my hands. And then Ranella was like, guys, why are you being so scared? And she was just walking through the thing and like through the hallway, not giving a shit. And I was like, Ranella, get in. And she's like, guys, you're all like super weak, it's fine. Like very Ranella energy. So that's why it was like awesome, because she's a very like strong woman and just like doesn't care, or like in like this scenario. And it was just super weird, and I was like, get into my room, and I was like terrified, and everyone, whoever else was there, I don't remember, was like trying to get away from this bear, and there's like CCTVs, and I was always telling people like, okay, don't go into this room because the bear is there. And Renée was like, yeah, I need to get my coffee or like something, and she was just like going into places, and I was like, what is this? So maybe that's like, I don't know, what do you think that could mean?
Well, maybe it's a premonition, and I think all three of you have to keep Ranella close to you the whole time, just in case. So
I think that means Ranella is going straight to the finals, because obviously she has like no fear. And maybe for us, it's just like, for me, it's probably just because I'm like nervous, and the bear represents my fears or something. I have no idea.
Now, you won ECZ with Lights Off, and you're taking it to Eurovision. Can you tell us a little bit about your entry?
Okay, so we wrote Lights Off last summer. It was at a songwriting camp in Czech Republic. We wrote it with another Norwegian producer and a singer-songwriter from England. So we were put into this group randomly, and it happened on the first day of the songwriting camp. We were put into this like little space in this like nice cabiny vibe area. And we actually wrote a song first for Abby, which is the English songwriter and singer. And we had like a really good time. We were vibing really, really well with like basically strangers. So it was really cool. And then we had like 3 hours left. So we were like, let's just write another song so we don't waste our time, since it was only like, we were only there for 2 days. We couldn't do the whole 3-day camp because I think the boys need to go back to work. And so we had 3 hours, and we just felt like maybe like a dance track could go, like it could be a bit more not simple, but just like easier to like, okay, now we know there has to be a drop, okay, let's just do that. So we wrote the skeleton of the song within like 3 hours, and that's kind of what we like submitted. And the song, so basically it was we knew that it was going to be written like for our project. So for me as like a singer, the lyrics have to kind of actually make sense to me, and they have to, like, if I'm going to be presenting it, it has to be authentic, and I have to, take my feelings to the audience. And so yeah, so I wanted to make sure it was something that I could relate to. But so normally, like, I don't say the very specific reason behind each song, because I kind of like keeping that for myself. So it's kind of like a mystery. However, like overall, what I like to say is that it's kind of like a song that you're calling out for help to someone that is really close, but kind of far in that stage of your life. And you're just kind of trying to like pick yourself up from a shitty situation. But what I like doing is I actually don't mind if people are like, this is like my breakup song. Like that actually makes me really happy, because that means that they're taking the song and they can use it to make them feel better, or to cry or dance out their feelings or whatever. So that's why I usually don't like saying what it's like specifically about, because then it kind of puts it into a box. So yeah, that's why I just like really, or we like releasing the music into the world, and then people can, you know, take whatever they need from the song, because now we're like, you know, like it's still ours, but it's now like the people's as well, and the people's music as well, and they can decide what it says to them. So.
Well, but then you release this epic music video, which is this very futuristic thriller, almost like where I thought it was like you're freeing people from a controlled society. Can you tell us what you think the relationship between the song and the music video is about?
Sure. Yeah, do you guys? I just spoke a lot.
Yeah. The relationship between the song and the music.
The music video. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's sort of the same thing as Dominica was talking about now, that we didn't want to create the music video to be exactly what the song is about either, but we wanted to create a scenario about what it could be about. And we have talked about for so long that we want like futuristic thriller, sort of like Black Mirror kind of music video. So we took the opportunity with this song because it really suited it, we felt. And we talked with our director, Rui, and we brainstormed some ideas, and we came to this this idea eventually, which we're really happy about.
I guess basically what the lyrics of the song explores is that it's someone that is not feeling all right, and they need someone or something to be there for them. Like that's basically it. And in this controlled society, or the lyrics are like, you're trying to change everything, and people are saying, how you grown? Like people think that you're changing, but actually you're not changing, and you're missing this one thing that can help you to progress. So it can mean so many different things. And we love Black Mirror. When we started speaking about different things we can do with the music video, we really like stories. Like if you watch a music video without the music, you should still be able to kind of get drawn into the visuals. So we're really happy with it. And it kind of shows someone that in the start of the music video, Dom is controlled. She breaks away from it. She finds us, the band, to go on the rooftop and just spread it to everyone, and everyone gets disconnected by these earpieces, and kind of finally can show emotions again.
Yeah, because it is like an emotional song, and that was the whole like hook, that you're not allowed to show your emotions, and then when you break free from that, you can finally, you know, express yourself. And that's basically it.
Well, now you're performing in the second semi-final together with our very own Sheldon Riley from Australia, and you actually met Sheldon at the Eurovision pre-parties, and he actually tweeted, Domi, Casper and Ben from We Are Domi are possibly the kindest, most genuine humans I've ever met in my life. And then there was an epic photo, Domi, of you and Sheldon together, you holding a drink. What was it like meeting each other?
Awesome. He is such a sweet guy. What was the first pre-party that we met him? Was it?
It was in Israel, wasn't it?
No, I met him briefly.
In London.
When I was a bit drunk in London.
All right.
So I just went past him like, hey dude, you're amazing. And then he was like, oh, thank you. And we didn't really speak, but in Israel we hung out quite a lot.
Yeah, that's where we properly bonded, and like with his other team member, Chris. And I would say we got like pretty close. We did a few like of the tours together. And he's such a sweet guy. Yeah, I have all good things to say about Sheldon.
And what a voice.
And what oh my gosh. His vocals.
Well, I'd love to know from each of you, what was the pre-party experience like? Because it actually looked like a very intense couple of weeks and quite grueling. But do you have any favorite moments? And what was the experience like for each of you?
It was pretty hectic. A lot of flying, a lot of airports, and of course you get on stage, you're just playing one song. Usually we play a full hour, and then it feels more like you go on stage, you get to connect with the audience, you get feedback, and then you start playing again, and then it's a completely different thing. We're not used to going on stage and just playing one song. So that was kind of draining as well, since when you first prepared, you brought all your instruments, you're ready to go on stage, and then you play for 3 minutes, you go off stage, and then it's like, well, that's it then, I guess.
But it's also like a bomb, you know, like, or it's like crazy energy for those 3 minutes, which we also haven't experienced. So it kind of like makes up for what you're saying.
No. But so it's of course it's worth it. I had a wonderful time as well, but it was pretty stressful with traveling all the places and all the different, especially like with Corona, where you have to fill out all these forms in every country. And then you have to get tested. You didn't know if you were positive or negative, since you're around people all the time. So that's on your mental health as well, or you're thinking about that. But I think mostly just the long plane rides and getting ready for it and fully perform as good as you can with just one song. But the best memory was Barcelona. Since that was the first one, we didn't fully know what Eurovision, or we know what Eurovision is, of course, but I've usually just seen the grand final with my family when I was younger, and then with friends as I grew older. But I never thought it was so much build up until the actual Eurovision. So we were really blown away when we went to the first pre-party and just saw Barcelona being on fire, and we went out there, and it was absolutely great.
Because that's the first time I think we played in front of, that was our biggest gig ever at that point when we went to Barcelona, and it was like over 1,000 people, and they were all singing the whole song back to us, and it was just very overwhelming because we didn't know what to expect, and we just went on that stage and had this wall of sound coming towards us, and it was such an amazing experience. So I would also put that as my best memory, but also that we got to meet all of the other artists, and we didn't know what to expect from any of them, but they're all so nice and so great. So it's so far above my expectations.
I'll agree.
Now, in an interview with ESCZ, you were asked what was your biggest fear and what excites you the most about winning ESCZ. And now, Casper, you said it was being on the big stage and being watched by millions of people. Now, 4 months have gone by since that interview. Sorry?
Oh, no.
No, I was just saying if that was like the positive or the negative.
I don't know yet. It's
like,
probably both.
If that was like the scary, or was that like what you were excited about or not, or like scared about?
I thought it was, I took it as both, I think. I think you're answering both things at the same time. That's what I took out of it. But I just wanted to re-ask pretty much. Now I'd love to know, like, a similar question. What is your biggest fear and what excites you the most about performing Eurovision Turin?
Okay. So I guess my biggest fear is to flop, like not do well after, you know, all this preparation, and not just for myself, but also like just like the whole project, because I want us to thrive even after Eurovision. And so that's like my biggest fear, you know, for it not to go as well as it can go with all the prep, because I know that we put in like so much work and we're still like putting in crazy work. And so that's like my biggest fear, for it not to go well, like maybe because of like my mental state, because I know that physically we're all ready, I would say. Like, of course, there's like still like small tweaks, but I think like physically we're good, but it's more about like the mental side of that, because that's something that is more difficult to, you know, prepare yourself with. So that's my fear. And my excitement is, I think, just the whole 2 weeks of Turin. I'm also excited to see like what all the other countries have prepared, and I want them to also do really well, you know, like it's like after meeting people and creating friendships, like I just want all those people to do well. So, you know, like it's weird that we're actually like in a competition, because when it comes to music, like music normally isn't a competition. So this is like a weird scenario that we're put into, because normally you're just part of a music community and you kind of want everyone to do well, because you know how it is, like being an artist, it's like not an easy start, or it's like not easy, you know, you just have to keep putting out music and keep branding yourself and so on. It's like a never ending story. So it's kind of like, I just kind of want everyone to do well.
It'd be so great if the grand final could just have 40 acts.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. No, before we met all the contestants, looking at them, I was like, these, let's not get these through. Let's not get these through. But now I'm like, I want everyone to go through. Since I met everyone, and everyone is so nice. What? No, of course you're thinking that way. Or I'm a competitive guy. Like I like to win. Like I'm super competitive. So of course I want to go through. So of course then it's someone that can't go through. And it wasn't based on it was based on their song, and music is subjective. I'm not being bad. No. But now when I met all of them, I'm like, oh no, everyone needs to go through, but that's not possible. And I think, in terms of my biggest fear, which will happen either way if we do well or not, will be to sit there when they're just reading one country by one country into the final. I'll be sitting there and I'll be so scared. And I've heard stories that the cameramans are usually running around to 4 different countries, I think, when they announce one of the countries, and then it's one of those 4. And then just imagine sitting there and be like, oh, they're coming to us, and then it's cameras. And then they just say, and then just run away in another direction to another country.
Yeah, because we heard from last year that when, because Czech Republic didn't go through to the final last year, and the camera people were just standing there in front of them, and just before they announced the last name, they were like,
yes,
they give it away. Yeah.
They knew at that moment, like, oh, it's not us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's savage.
Even like I find it grueling when they even do the close-ups during the points, and then you see the artist reactions. Yeah, it's a bit painful. It's hard to watch. It's very hard to watch.
Yeah,
maybe we should practice our happy faces and sad
just crying and smiling.
No, that's going to be nerve-wracking. 100%.
Now, in that same interview, you asked about a superpower that you had, and you talked. I think it was Domi talked about the friendship, and then Benjamin said, "Oh, then your combined superpower must be your friendship." And I've seen in your performances, interviews you've done, you guys have a really great bond together, and I'd love to know what have each of you learned from about each other through this whole Eurovision experience that you didn't know before.
I feel like I knew. I think I knew. I don't think I learned.
No.
But okay. Have I learned anything new? Like, I think we.
You really love hummus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know that before?
I knew you liked it, but I didn't know that you liked it that much.
Oh.
Well, maybe I did know that. Have we learned anything?
Because we live together as well, you know, like in England. So we like. Let me think. Is there something specific? No, I think
Dom is handling flights a lot better than I thought she would.
That is
something you have learned, since I know she were scared of flights.
That's true.
But she's handling it pretty well.
Except for the last one, but that was a rough flight though.
That was a bit rough, but that is something new, and something new about Ben. No, it's nothing new. But me and Ben lived together when we did our bachelor and master, and also the first year.
Right. You know each other very well.
Like 6 years or 7 years. So we know everything about each other.
Yeah, maybe like, because this is a whole different level of stress, but it's also nothing like how we've reacted. Nothing that surprised me too much.
Okay.
Like having stress, but I guess I was right. It's friendship. We know everything. It's a superpower. We already know, like.
Yeah, you really do have a good, strong bond, and that's really good to see, actually. So, now we know we can't talk about your staging. If I ask you, you're not going to answer the question, but I will ask you: what do you hope the audience in the arena and people watching Eurovision at home will feel or experience watching your performance?
Ooh, that's good.
I want to say something.
Yeah, but that no, I'm just thinking about how to not spill anything. It's a good question, since you get us to kind of say something about the stage, don't you?
Okay, like I would say we're gonna very much be ourselves.
Yeah, that is
be ourselves. So Like,
We're going
I
to
would
see the
say-
true you then. Like we're going to see.
We're gonna be, like, very, yeah, 'cause that was kind of like when we had our first team meeting, the team wanted to know, like, who are you guys? Like, basically they asked, because some of the team members, they didn't actually know us, or they haven't seen our gigs, so they need to know, like, how do you present yourself, who do you want to be? And we were really clear on that. We don't want to like create like alter egos, that we really want to like show our true selves as we are, like, as people. So like, so pretty like authentic, which is, there's nothing wrong with having an alter ego. I think that's awesome. I mean, I know a lot of bands that do like awesome alter egos, and it's amazing, a great brand. But I guess we want to really like show ourselves in our friendship. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great answer. So, because I don't want to get you guys in trouble. Now, on the Eurotrip podcast, you mentioned that I think it was Lake Malawi that kind of like pushed you in that direction, where you ended up now going to Eurovision. That's a very short way of putting it. And now you've collaborated with them with a amazing song, High Speed Kissing, which is a perfect blend of pop synth and the very 80s nostalgic sound to it. Can you tell us a little bit about your collaboration with Lake Malawi?
Sure. So the boys wrote this song actually at the same songwriting cramp, the same songwriting camp where we wrote Lights Off, but 2 years ago, with different songwriters, different producers, and I think they just kind of had it in their pocket or whatever, in their shell,
library,
in their library for like 2 years, and I think that they were kind of waiting maybe for like their album, or like waiting for the right vocals that they wanted for it. And and then they just kind of like, we already knew Albert and the band before Eurovision, before we even applied to Eurovision, and we like played a gig with them, and we've already like made some kind of a bond, sang with him as well. And then like a couple months back, he was like, do you guys want to have a listen to the song and like have a think if this is something that would like interest you? So we did. It did interest us, and then we recorded it in a very like hectic time. It was like in between pre-parties, and there's literally only like one day that we could record it, because also not just because of our schedule, but also like their schedule. So I was like, this has to be the day if we record it. If not, then it would like miss their deadlines of when they want to like release their things. So I was like, okay, it has to be this day, but like we're on board, let's do it. So I went to their studio. I like recorded the vocals. So like I didn't write the song with Lake Malawi. This was already like a project that they had. And and it was like, or maybe it was like a day and a half of recording vocals. Like I still had like a little bit of like a few hours that we could like tweak small things, because I mainly wanted like Albert to be like happy with it, and because obviously for him it's more personal than for me, since I didn't like write it. So I really wanted to get the emotion that he wanted, so he kind of like guided me through like how he wanted the vocals to sound. And then we recorded the music video again. Like that was the only day I think we could have done. It was super hectic, because then Albert left to Portugal. He's still in Portugal surfing with his girlfriend. So it was again like, we have to do it this day. There is no other option. And so it actually worked out really well. And we did the music video with the same director that did Lights Off, because he's a very close friend of mine. And I think Lake Malawi's manager had like a good idea that it's good to work with someone that we have already worked with. So like we were comfortable, and he's a great director. We like got it all kind of happened really quick, even though it was kind of laying around for 2 years, but like the actual finalization was super quick, like a really quick turnover, and now it's out. And I think people are liking it. Like I'm
a very good song. And the music video is so slick and really good.
It was super cold.
It was so cold. I like, behind the scenes, I had like 4, because it was before we were going to a pre-party, so the guys were like, you cannot get sick, like you cannot get ill. And of course it was like outside. I had Converse on that, like, like Converse, I don't know, they're not that like warm. And so I was like constantly, like my head was just sticking out of like 4 blankets on top of me. But yeah, it was fine. Like I mean, I'm happy with the outcome. Like with so little time and everything, like it has a great outcome. So it's awesome.
That songwriting camp, did you also write that song? Was it FU? Is that the other song that you guys wrote?
Oh yeah.
You know this.
How do you know?
You mentioned it.
Yeah, you mentioned it before. Are we going to expect any new releases from you guys anytime soon?
100%.
Yeah, but like the FU song, we've been thinking about it if it's fitting to release like around Eurovision, because like it's
It's a fuck you song, and
Yeah.
we don't
no matter how it goes, if we do really well, we don't want to say FU, and if we don't do
Yeah,
well, we
okay, I
don't
can see that.
Yeah, so we were kind of because it's I really like the song, but it's just more like time wise, people would be like, oh my god, they're not nice people at all. They're telling everyone to like fuck off or something, or I don't want people to like think of because like the song was written before Eurovision, so
Yeah.
of course it will have nothing. I mean, of course, when you have a song, you can always change your feelings to whatever you're feeling at the time. But like at the moment, I have no FUs to throw out Eurovision or one in Eurovision, and hopefully I won't. So, but yeah, maybe people would like take it and be like,
Yeah, I think I was intrigued. I was like, oh, what's this song about? I'd really love to hear it. But yeah, hopefully we get to see it in the
Maybe it
near
would be-
future.
maybe it would be actually that's the drama PR we need.
No,
Actually,
You end up with
But wait.
headlines and
We're definitely going to release music either way. That was the plan before Eurovision as well, of course. So there will be new music from us, 100%.
love to know, have any of you been to Australia before?
No.
I really want to go though.
I would
Same.
love to go.
I've had friends who have gone there. They're just gonna go there for 2 weeks, and then they end up living there for 6 months, a year. So I heard that's a classic as well. But no, I really want to go. Although I do fear spiders.
Oh, yeah. There are some big spiders here, unfortunately. I hate them too, but
That looks like a spider, honestly, an Australian spider in your corner
what,
there behind
that?
you.
Oh yeah, no, that's a clock, luckily. But if it was a spider, I would have screamed by now and run. So
Yeah, I wish. I'm
Well,
sure
maybe-
one day.
well, maybe you can come for a holiday after Eurovision, because it sounds like you guys need a nice, deserving rest after all you've been through.
Nice.
Or
That
write
would
some
have been
music. Write some music with Sheldon.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be nice too. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us at Aussievision. From all the team and all of us in Australia, we wish you all the best in Turin. And for all those watching in Australia, We Are Domi are in the same semi-final as Sheldon. Show your support for this amazing trio. That'll be song number 18.
18.
Remember that number and vote for We Are Domi. And good luck, guys. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
for having
Thank
us.
you. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.